All right, we have a decision on the Kevin Durant sweepstakes, opting to sign with the Golden State Warriors. I'm Cody Taylor. He's Steve Kyler. Steve, when you look at this Warriors team, this is a team that was in the finals. Went to Game 7 with their talented roster they have. They add Kevin Durant, a former MVP. What does this mean for the Warriors, and how good can they be?
Well, maybe Draymond Green said it best. Are they going to lose a game? The truth of it is the rich get richer, the better get better, the best get the best. Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting thing. I mean, I think immediately you got to wonder, how does it all work together? Mm-hmm. We've seen sometimes that, when you get kind of a bunch of stars, is it subtraction by addition? I think with the way this Warriors team is constructed and how unselfish they are and how much they play in tempo and with pace, I think you can create enough offense to keep everybody happy. They were able to do it with the guys they have. I was joking with an executive. They're like, look, when they get in trouble, they'll run the 1-4 pick and roll and dare you to leave one of those guys open. Yeah. They get tremendously better. And I think it's funny, you look at it and you go, okay, so you've got Steph Curry, you've got Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. You're also keeping Sean Livingston. You're also keeping Andre Iguodala. Mm-hmm. And now you got Kevin Durant. That's 6 guys deep. And now you're going to see the line of veterans coming in to try to fill in around that. They're going to lose Andrew Bogut. They're going to trade him. That has to happen. We'll see what happens with some of their other free agents, right. The Mo Spateses, the Ian Clarks of the world. Harrison Barnes likely signing an offer sheet with the Dallas Mavericks, so we'll see him move on. Festus Ezeli probably becomes the best available free agent center. Yep. So there's some things that will work themselves out, but there's no question that the Golden State Warriors just won the NBA lottery. Yeah. And, the question does become, can they go undefeated? Mm-hmm. Because I think it's a realistic question now.
And obviously the immediate reaction on Twitter and the social media sites are, dogging Kevin Durant for, taking the easy way out. You're close with Kevin, or, you've had conversations with him. How hard of a decision was this for him? As we saw him outline in his article on the Players Tribune, just how hard was this for him?
It was incredibly hard. I mean, this was probably the toughest decision he's ever done for a couple of reasons. One, Kevin's not wired this way. Kevin's not wired to leave. And, as he said, he was born in the D.C. area, but he grew up and became a man in Oklahoma City. And this was a hard thing for him to do. But he also wanted to challenge himself to kind of evolve into the next part of his career. He's been a volume scorer. He's been an MVP. Now he wants to be a champion. And I think the fact that, people are saying, oh, well, he's taking the easy way out. Well, you still got to make all those guys fit. You still got to play all those games. You still have to stay healthy. And, oh, by the way, you still have to win. It's just because you put, the fantasy roster together doesn't mean you win. And we've kind of seen this before. I mean, think about the first year in Miami. That was far from a beautiful thing. So it's not a given that these guys are there. And look, the San Antonio Spurs are going to be good. Yeah. The Clippers are going to be good. We're going to see what some of these other teams do. Portland's putting together a really scrappy team. So, 2 key injuries midway through the season, and the Warriors aren't the darling. Right. We've seen how different they look when Steph Curry goes down. So, certainly I think it's a better situation, but I think anybody that's being critical of Kevin Durant does not understand how hard it is to get a championship and how special it is to have one. And when you've been swinging and swinging and swinging and missing, Kevin's 9 years into the NBA. Tomorrow is not promised. Everybody's a knee injury away. So you got to take your opportunity when you can get it. And I don't fault Kevin for doing it. And, look, the other teams aren't going to lay down just because the Warriors come rolling into town.
They're going to be coming harder at him, if anything.
Absolutely.
We saw Kevin Durant do the 2-year deal with an opt-out after the first, and that's obviously a move to take advantage of next season's salary cap?
Yeah, the ballooning salary cap. I know some people are going to go, oh, well, they can't. Yeah, they can sign him. That re-signing him is not going to be a problem. It's very much like we've seen with LeBron. It's about making sure you can dip into the salary cap pool this year and do it again next year when the cap goes up. That'll be when he's a 10-year veteran, eligible for a much bigger portion of the pie. You'll see him do his long-term deal right after Steph Curry does his.
Yep. So, you just mentioned it. They have key free agents next year. Is that going to be hard for them to retain, or
not a problem at all? The one thing that's been really interesting about the Warriors is just the timing of some of their deals. Yeah. The way that it works out is they've been able to kind of, take advantage of salary cap going up. Now, the challenge becomes after 2017. So we're seeing the cap go up 28% this year. It'll probably go up 20% more the year after that. But then it'll plateau a little bit. Yeah. We're not going to see those huge bumps. But again, you're talking about a Warrior team where the luxury tax will probably be 150, 175 million.
Yeah.
They'll probably be playing in San Francisco by then, or at least have their new building on the way. It's not going to be a problem to keep this team together because it's not going to be like the luxury tax bill is going to be $100 million. But honestly, if you're Joe Lacob, well, you'd pay it anyway, right?
Of course, especially if it means you're going to be in the play in the finals. So wrapping up, last question for you. You know, we saw Steph Curry lead the Warriors in scoring. Who do you see leading that team and maybe in second place in scoring next season?
Ask the Atlanta Hawks. They figured out how to get 5 guys named, player of the month. That's what it's going to be. You're going to have 5 guys scoring 20 points a night. That'll be, I think we saw it with the Warriors this year that, that group of guys was okay, that if it wasn't Steph Curry, it was Klay Thompson. If it wasn't Klay Thompson, it was Draymond Green. If it's not Draymond Green, it's going to be Kevin Durant. You got to wonder how Kevin, who's used to getting 25, 30 shots a game, because that's the other part too, is just the rhythm factor of it. When you're a volume scorer, and you saw it with Kevin Love in Cleveland, is sometimes when you don't get as many touches, you're not as productive. So we'll see how Kevin Durant kind of responds to maybe less touches and needing to be more efficient with those touches. But I think when you look at what's on the floor, I think they'll figure out a way to make it work.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. All right, Steve. Well, that's the Warriors' future after getting Kevin Durant, and we'll of course have more reaction on BasketballInsiders.com. So be sure to check in.